Presentation on dental caries. So, the aims of this presentation is for me to explain to you what dental caries is, factors contributing to dental caries, how you can prevent dental caries, the different types of sugars within foods and hidden sugars within foods, because we all know what sugars are, but sometimes there are hidden sugars as well. Okay, so what is dental caries? Dental caries is the breakdown of the tissues of a tooth caused by bacteria on the tooth surface. Okay, so that basically means that dental caries happens when the enamel and the dentine layers of a tooth become softened by sugars and bacteria. The bacteria break down the hard tissues of the teeth by making acid from food debris on the tooth surface, and sugars within food are the bacteria's primary energy source. So the bacteria live on the sugars in the foods that are found on your teeth. The word dental decay, caries is Latin for rottenness. So if you hear dental decay, dental caries, or tooth decay, it all means the same thing. There's just different ways of saying it. Okay, so this is the caries process. So this would be a molar tooth at step one, healthy tooth, with the different layers. So you see here we have enamel. The second layer underneath is dentine, and dentine's really soft. Enamel's very hard. It's harder than bone, so it's there to protect the teeth, to help us to essentially to grind our food. In here, this is where the blood supply is. This is known as the pulp chamber, and we have nerves in there and the blood supply. So this is where you feel the pain, you feel the pressure, and then obviously the bone and whoops. Oh, it's gone without me. Okay. So this is a healthy tooth with plaque. A healthy tooth shouldn't really have plaque around it. At the second stage, sometimes you see the way that the anatomy of a tooth is. Sometimes decay can start on the biting surface of teeth, and that just happens when with teeth we have like lots of pits and fissures and hills and valleys, and the bacteria and food just gets trapped within those areas of the tooth basically. So here it's just at the enamel stage, and at this stage, if detected early enough, we can get this to arrest, so we can get this to stop, and without doing any kind of treatment. So that means just improving your diet, improving your oral hygiene, and we can get it to stop there without having. And also here we have interproximal areas, so sometimes food traps between here, which is why it's also important to clean between teeth. At the next stage now, the bacteria is really starting to develop, and it's working its way down towards the dentine layer. While it's working through the enamel, it's quite hard for it to work through the enamel, if that makes sense, because the enamel's always trying to fight back. But once it gets to the pulp chamber, the pulp's really soft, and it just it doesn't demonstrate here, but it mushrooms out. So this is when it starts rapidly going on, and at this point is when you will start feeling pain. You will feel pain here, but you also feel pain at this point. And here now, as you can see, it's just developed onwards, and now is into the pulp chamber, and this is where you're going to get pain. And once the pulp gets disturbed, you feel a lot of pain, and that's when infection can occur because it's bacteria. Okay, so these are all images of dental decay on different, I don't know if you can see, on different surfaces of the teeth. So here, this is the interproximal area where it hasn't been cleaned properly, and it's developed here. This is just a very small pit within the biting surface of the teeth. This one is a little bit more like erosion, so this is kind of from hard scrubbing, but also when you don't brush effectively around the gum margins, the bacteria sits around the tooth surface, and if not brushed away, then the bacteria start eating at the tooth. This is a very, very typical kind of what caries looks like, essentially. Same here again, it traps in the pits and the fissures. I don't think you can see it very well, but that's a very good demonstration one. These are teeth that have actually been extracted because the caries has been so extensive that, you know, sometimes fighting the caries, it's better to pull it out. And this one is erosion again. Okay, so what causes dental decay? Dental decay is caused by plaque acids that gradually dissolve away the enamel and dentine of the tooth. The decay damages your teeth and may lead to the tooth needing to be filled or even taken out. And there are 4 factors, I know it says 3 here. The 4 factors are sugar, bacteria, tooth surface and time. Okay, so over a course of time or a constant time. And this here, I found this one, I found it quite easier to explain than me explaining, but a combination when there is time and the plaque and the bacteria are susceptible surface. So not all surfaces of the teeth are susceptible, they are susceptible, but some have kind of pits and fissures that the bacteria is going to trap in, and sugar, because the bacteria live off of sugar. So, this actually is a repeat of what I just said. Okay, why is diet important for oral health? Time is an essential factor of the caries process. Caries doesn't just happen today. Caries happens over a long course of time. Every time we eat or drink anything sugary, even when we don't eat sugary foods actually, I'll explain that afterwards, teeth are under acid attack for up to 1 hour. And this is because the sugar reacts with the bacteria in the plaque, which is the sticky coating on your teeth, which produce harmful acids. So it's important to cut down on how often you have sugary foods, which will limit the amount of time your teeth are at risk. So this basically means every time that you eat, your saliva turns acidic to help you break down your food. And after about an hour, the pH level rises back to neutral again. If you're constantly snacking and snacking throughout... Okay. Acidic foods and drink can be harmful to your teeth. The acid wears away the enamel and will leave the dentine uncovered. So that goes back to the what I explained earlier with the image of the teeth. Once the dentine layer has been eaten away, it's just a mushroom effect from there. Okay, so a diet rich in vitamins, minerals and fresh fruit and vegetables can help to prevent gum disease. So gum disease comes in with caries. They're 2 different diseases, but essentially it's all about maintaining the entire oral environment. Okay, so gum disease can also lead to tooth loss and cause bad breath, the same way that caries can as well. Okay, so these are just some statistics that I found, and actually people don't realise how bad caries is within the UK only. So the major cause for tooth extraction, a lot of people leave the caries, they feel a little bit of pain and they leave it until it gets to the point that it's unrestorable. 27% of 5-year-olds have dental caries on average. This shouldn't be right. It should actually say on average 3 teeth are affected by dental decay in 5-year-olds, okay? 46% of adults have active decay, and this varies within the age groups. The higher the age, the higher percentage with active decay, and that sometimes just comes with age anyway, but as you get older you get more caries. The prevalence of decay in England has fallen from 46% to 28% since 1998. So I think with a lot of government advertising, we're getting a lot more people aware of how to maintain oral hygiene, and the number of patients having dental decay is falling due to many factors, such as more dental visits because we have the NHS, and more information and more health promotion. So all health promoters who go around to schools and teach children from young age, sometimes that can help prevent dental caries as well. Okay. Can't see this one, but it says the signs and symptoms of dental decay. Here I've just got some x-rays, and on the x-rays you see the dark areas. These are decay, so these are in the interproximal areas, so where the teeth meet each other. And here is, obviously this is just worked right down into the pulp chamber. When caries invades the dentine, pain is felt on hot and cold temperatures and sugary foods. As the decay spreads further through the dentine, pain is also felt on chewing, so when you bite you feel pain. So that's the second stage of pain, if you like. When the decay reaches the pulp chamber, all of these above symptoms are present, and pain can be intense and persistent. So that's when you're kept awake at night, when it's absolute agony. And sometimes you can get infection. Pain is felt on hot and cold temperatures and sugary foods. As the decay spreads further through the dentine, pain is also felt on chewing. So when you bite, you feel pain. So that's the second stage of pain, if you like. When the decay reaches the pulp chamber, all of these above symptoms agony. And sometimes you can get infection at the bottom here, at the root, and then that's when you course of antibiotics. So the idea is to prevent caries before it gets through all these stages. Okay, so what happens if left untreated? This is the abscess, the infection that I was saying about. Here, this is just another example, another diagram of exactly what happens. But if you do not treat caries, as a patient you may not always know if you have caries, but regular dental visits, good oral hygiene, better diet all help to prevent that happening. Preventing having holes in the teeth, making the tooth weaker. If you leave it untreated, also you can have abscess, infection and pain. Many patients, more it's the pain side that they're worried about rather than actually having caries. The need for fillings, which can look unattractive, sometimes silver fillings are really ugly, and more dental treatment, which can be timely and costly and reduce self-esteem as well sometimes if you have caries on anterior teeth. Okay, so preventing caries. There's 3 different ways. There's cleaning, there's diet, and there's fluoride. So the 3 factors together help to prevent caries. With cleaning, brush your teeth for at least 2 minutes. This is the wrong slide, but brush your teeth for at least 2 minutes. Don't brush teeth straight after meals for the reasons that I said before, which was that the saliva in your mouth is a little bit acidic. So you can imagine then you're getting double the amount if you're brushing the acidic saliva back into your mouth again, because it's just it's not good. They should not say wine as well, especially if you've had fruit, fizzy drinks and every other foods that contain acid, but also sugary foods as well. Leaving an hour will give your saliva a chance to neutralise the acid. When brushing, be sure to gently brush all surfaces of the teeth, so inside, outside, biting surfaces, front, back. So sometimes you have to change the angle of the toothbrush to get into all the nooks and crannies. And for interdental cleaning, which means where the teeth meet, where they meet each other, is flossing. Sometimes you can use interdental brushes, sometimes they help, and mouthwash as well, at least once a day. If you can, mouthwash at a different time to brushing, only because then every day, that's worse than if you had 1 tea with 5 sugars in, if that makes sense, because you're taking it all back in one sitting rather than continuously throughout the day. And chewing sugar-free gum, sometimes chewing gum as well, not ones with sugar, but they help make your saliva glands work, and the more saliva means more buffering, more neutralising. And fluoride is the 3rd one that can help prevent caries. Fluoride is a naturally occurring mineral found in water in varying amounts in the UK. So at the moment, different areas within the UK have fluoridated water, and that means in your tap water, and some areas don't have any fluoride in the water. The amount of fluoride in the water is 1 part per million, which isn't a lot, but it's enough, and that's what the government has done to introduce, trying to help people have better oral hygiene, basically. In this area that we live, we do have fluoridated water. Areas up north don't have as much, well, it's not as much, they just don't have this, it's kind of pocketed around the UK at the moment. Fluoride's also found in foods as well, so it's also good to read labels. Fluoride's main benefit is helping to reduce the risk of tooth decay, which is why it's added to many brands of toothpaste. Toothpaste has a high concentration, it's like 2,500 parts per million, and in some areas to the water to supply through a process called fluoridation, so what I just said. Fluoride disrupts the caries process by making teeth more resistant to acid attack, okay, because it strengthens the enamel. There's 2 different types of fluoride, systemic fluoride and topical fluoride. Topical is on the outside, systemic through your system. So systemic ways are fluoridated water, which is in our tap water, milk and salt fluoridation. For the topical we have like gels. Sometimes if you go to the dentist, they'll put a gel on your teeth, and that comes in a varnish or a paste or in mouthwash. Okay, sugars in foods and drinks. Sugars come in many forms, so it's important to check food and drink labels for the following. All of these are sugars some are good sugars, some are bad sugars, so it's always important when we're reading, ingredients usually are listed in order of the amount used. If sugar is near or at the top of the list on the back of a packet, on the labelling, then it usually means it's quite high in sugars. And the way that we know that is if, it should actually say, yeah, if the sugar is got less than 5 grams for every 100, then it's very low, and that's okay. And if it's got more than 15 grams for every 100, then it's quite high. But it doesn't mean to say because it says it's got more than 15, you have to avoid it, okay? Okay. So systemic ways are fluoridated water, which is in our tap water, milk and salt fluoridation. For the topical, we have like gels. Sometimes if you go to the dentist, they'll put a gel on your teeth, and that comes in a varnish or a paste or in mouthwash. Okay, sugars in foods and drinks. Sugars come in many forms, so it's important to check food and drink labels for the following. All of these are sugars. Some are good sugars, some are bad sugars, so it's always important when we're reading, ingredients usually are listed in order of the amount used. If sugar is near or at the top of the list on the back of a packet, on the labelling, then it usually means it's quite high in sugars. And the way that we know that is if, it should actually say, yeah, if the sugar is got less than 5 grams for every 100, then it's very low, and that's okay. And if it's got more than 15 grams for every 100, then it's quite high. But it doesn't mean to say because it says it's got more than 15, you have to avoid it, okay? Okay. Foods and drinks, high in sugars. Again, jams, soft drinks, sauces. Sauces have quite a high amount of hidden sugars. Granola, that's the one that surprised me. I didn't think they had it. It appears healthy, and this is what the government's trying to do to get people to be a little bit more knowledgeable about what is going on in their foods that you don't always know. Sometimes things appear healthy. Tomato sauce, you think it's got tomatoes, but it's actually got lots of sugar. Dried fruit and smoothies, these are natural sugars. Okay, so again, if you're going to have smoothies because it's good for your general health, it would be better to have the smoothie all in one rather than I'm going to have a smoothie now, I'm going to have a smoothie at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and spreading it throughout the day, essentially. Yogurts and salad dressings. Salad dressings have vinegars and acids in them. What? Okay. I think this is actually the last slide, and this is just a summary of what I've said. Caries forms on susceptible tooth surfaces over time when bacteria feed on the sugars present. Caries can cause pain, the need for dental treatment, or if left untreated, tooth loss. And caries can easily be prevented with good oral hygiene and diet. Many foods contain hidden sugars. And that's it. Has anyone got any questions or anything like that? Okay, thank you.